All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday. We've got a 16-game slate. We do have a doubleheader in the Orioles and the Red Sox. We're going to cover each game and check the pinned comments for my best bets. We're recording this a little early before I've had time to finalize the card, but crazy day, so we're going to do that. So make sure you guys check the pinned comments. It should be posted by the time the video comes up as well. So plays will be down in the comments. All right, first game on the card. Let's jump into this after a day off yesterday. Much needed, kind of a crappy slate, bad weather, so took the day off. But Orioles and the Red Sox, we got K. Povich going up against Brian Bayo. Povich has looked a lot better lately. Got to tip the cap to him. He's got a sub-2 average to lefties and righties. Bayo right around 280 to lefties, 317 to righties. In terms of the weather, 52 degrees, 21% chance of rain, 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing left to right. So two pitchers that I don't trust. Don't love the pitch splits here. You're getting a very short line to take Boston. It is very suspicious. Orioles are 2-8 in their last 10, but they did win their last game, but they're 8-17 on the road. Boston is the better team. This line's just weird, so I can't pull the trigger on it. I feel like Boston should be minus 150 here. So weird line that I just can't get behind, but Boston's been absolutely hammering lefty pitching. So would definitely lean Boston here. In terms of the over-under of 9, I would lean towards the over, but it's the first game of a doubleheader, so you never know what you're going to get in game one of doubleheaders. They typically do go under. So it's a fade for me, but it's probably Boston or pass. Next game is going to be the Brew Crew and the Pirates. Paul Skeens versus Freddie Peralta. So when I was looking into this game, Peralta has not had a ton of success against Pittsburgh. He's 0-1 with a 3.92 ERA since 2022 versus Pittsburgh. And that ERA actually jumps to 4.45 when he is in Pittsburgh. So going up against Skeens, who's pitched one game last year against the Brew Crew, he went 7 innings of no hit, no earned run baseball and had 11 Ks. In terms of the weather, it's going to be 54 degrees with a 31% chance of rain and a 14 mile per hour wind blowing out here. I just can't get behind the Pirates, man. I love Skeens. I think he's going to pitch really well today against the Brew Crew team that has struggled on the road this year. So I don't think they do much, but do I trust the Pittsburgh bats to hit righties? No, not really. Against Freddie, they should be able to get to him. They hit the changeup well, but they're dead last hitting the fastball. They're 28th hitting the slider and 27th hitting the curveball. They are hitting 186 over the past week with runners in scoring position. They're the worst team over the last 30 days hitting with runners in scoring position. So I don't have a ton of confidence. And honestly, the people I do trust would be left-handed, and Freddie's pretty damn good against lefties. So this is under or Brewers money line would be the only way I would play this, but lean more towards the under. I know it's 7, which can be scary, but still lean towards the under here, even with the wind blowing out. All right, next game is going to be the Cubs and the Reds. It's going to be Hunter Green making his start after, I think he pulled a groin or something like that. So he's going up against Matthew Boyd, the lefty. Boyd 4-2 on the year, Green 4-2. Boyd just about almost a 3 ERA, just a hair below. Hunter Green 2.36. That drops to 1.44 in 4 games at home. Matthew Boyd's ERA basically stays the same in 5 road games. The only thing that scares me about Boyd is he's given up a lot of hits to righties, man. Almost a 300 average to righties versus, Hunter Green, who's given up a 143 to righties, 229 to lefties. Boyd with runners in scoring position has not been good. 342 average over the season, whereas Hunter Green 0.053 with runners in scoring position. That said, do I trust this Reds offense? Not really. I think you're getting a pretty decent price to take the Cubs. One strong lean I have, I don't know if it makes the card, but first 5 under 4.5. It's a little juiced at minus 140, but I do like that, and I don't mind the full game under 8.5 as well. I have this 4.1 to 3.4 for the Reds. So I don't mind taking the Reds on the under. They don't score much runs at home. They're 63% to the under on the season, where the Cubs are 63% towards the over. So it's Cubs or the under here. Will probably be one of the official plays, but we've got to decide which way we want to go. 65 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out in this game. All right, next one's going to be the Giants And the Nationals, it's going to be Landon Roop going up against Mackenzie Gore, the strikeout leader. He's been on an absolute tear, man. He's pitching really well, but he definitely gives up some walks and just finds ways to get in trouble, and he has to work out of it with some Ks. So, is he going to have some success today? I think so, but you got to think they just played the Braves, had an extra inning game last night, but they got to stay home. Giants had the day off, so Nats have won 5 in a row. Offensively, they have just been hitting the snot out of the baseball, going up against a pitcher that is very hittable in Landon Roop, giving up a 261 average to lefties, 302 to righties, struggling a little bit with runners in scoring position at 289, but Gore's not a ton better at 283. Roop on the road has 6 games under his belt so far this year with a 5 ERA versus Mackenzie Gore, who has an ERA just under 3 in 4 home starts. In terms of the weather, it's going to be 66 degrees with a 13-mile-an-hour wind blowing in. If it wasn't for this 13-mile-an-hour wind, I think we just hammered the over. Just don't know if I want to back a team that's traveling from the West Coast all the way to Washington. I know they had the day off, but they're still doing that travel where the Nats are home. But the Nats are coming off an extra inning game. So I would lean towards the over 8 in this one. I do think the Nats are able to hit. I think the Giants should be able to get to Gore just a little bit. And then we have that very susceptible bullpen who just had to throw Finnegan last night. He blew the save. So give me the over 8 as my best bet in that game. Blue Jays and the Rays, going to be Eric Lauer going up against Drew Rasmussen. Lauer 1-0 with a 2.25 ERA. He's only got 12 innings under his belt, so we don't have a lot to go off of here. And then we have Drew Rasmussen, who has 46 innings under his belt, 40 Ks. He's got a 2.45 average to lefties, 2.50 to righties. Definitely been getting harder this year, but he's done really good with runners in scoring position, only giving up a 1.40 average. And he's got a 3 ERA in 6 games at home. Now, in terms of the weather, it's going to be 90 degrees, so beautiful day, 15% chance of rain, so shouldn't get any rain. And a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing from left to right here. We've got an over-under of 9. Give me the Blue Jays in this one. Blue Jays plus 120. We're getting good value here. They haven't been great on the road. They're 9-12. But when we look at the Rays at home, they're 13-18. So it's not like they're absolutely crushing it. I think there's good value here to take the Blue Jays at plus 120. They are hitting better than the Rays. Their runners in scoring position, they're doing pretty good. They just need to absolutely unleash on Rasmussen. Two decent bullpens here. So, it's Blue Jays or nothing for me here. All right, Dodgers and the Mets, game of the night. We got Clayton Kershaw going up against Griffin Canning. So Kershaw did not look good in his last start. As one, he went 4 innings and just didn't do well. He did not do well at all. Only had 2 strikeouts. Just looked pretty bad. I mean, we saw this last year. His first couple of starts, he looked rough, and then he kind of got a little bit better as it went on. Griffin Canning at home has been great. 1.71 ERA in 4 home starts. Struggling a little bit against lefties, giving up a 261 average, 200 to righties. It's going to be 60 degrees with a 13-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. So give me the over 8.5. I think the Mets are able to get to the Dodgers early, and I think the Dodgers should wake up and start to hit Mr. Griffin Canning. So give me the over 8.5 in this one. Most likely going to be a best bet. I just don't love the pitch splits for either pitcher here. And then we got game 2 of the Orioles and the Red Sox. I think this is going to be Charlie Morton going up against Lucas Giolito. 2 pitchers that love to give up runs. So, give me the over 9.5 here, but need to wait and see who the actual pitchers are before I commit to anything. Should be fairly same weather here, 52 degrees, 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing left to right, but lean over 9.5 in that one, or take a Red Sox team total over would be my play there. Next game is going to be the Padres and the Braves. Pretty good pitching matchup in this one as well. Nick Pivetta going up against Chris Sale. Padres are struggling, 2-8 in their last 10 on a 6-game losing streak. Braves have lost 2 in a row. They are 15-7 at home. Padres 11-13 on the road. After a loss this season, now the Padres are 8-12. Braves are 14-10. At home as favorites, the Braves are 14-6. Padres on the road as dogs are 7-8 on the season. Padres bullpen went from being the best to one of the worst, actually, real quick. Over the last 30 days, they're 26th in ERA, 25th in FIP, and 22nd in expected FIP, whereas the Braves have pole vaulted up to second. So they got a 2.71 ERA over the last 30 days, despite kind of blowing it a little bit yesterday. I'll tell you what, AJ Smith-Shawver looked bad. They jumped all over him. I think my issue with Pivetta here is this is not the park that I would love to play him at. It's going to be 78 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing left to right. I don't trust either of these teams right now. We've got an over-under of 7.5. I would probably lean towards just taking the under. You got two pretty decent pitchers and two offenses I don't love. That said, the Braves versus righties, they've been hitting them. 283 over the past 2 weeks. That's second in baseball. Over the last week, they're hitting 300. So doing pretty good with runners in scoring position. Sale has definitely looked significantly better, and we've seen the Padres just be in this offensive slump. Would it surprise me if the Padres won? No. So I don't trust the Braves. Take them at 155. Values on taking the Padres on the money line or the under, in my opinion. Next game, Rangers and the White Sox. I'm pretty certain that this will be on the official card, but Rangers run line -1.5. I trust Tyler Mahle. He has been outstanding this season. He is a little weaker on the road with a 2.65 ERA and 3 home starts, going up against Sean Burke, who has a 4.56 ERA and 5 home starts. But don't really love the pitch splits for either team. It's just, can the Rangers hit to me? I don't think they're going to give up a ton of runs. In terms of the weather, it's going to be 54 degrees with a 10-mile-an-hour wind blowing from left to right. So yeah, it's either you take the over 8 or you take the Rangers on the run line. That's the only way I see this game being played. White Sox don't have a great bullpen. Sean Burke is not great. So this is one where, could the White Sox just pull an upset? Absolutely. If we look at the White Sox, they've had, 15 wins on the year, and 10 of them have come at home. So they're 10-14 at home. Rangers are 8-16 on the road, and they've lost 4 straight. So is it difficult to back them on the run line? Yeah, it is, but most likely going to play Rangers run line, but going to look into that just a little bit more to make sure. Need to look into some trends. The White Sox have been terrible hitting. I know the Rangers have too, but I think Sean Burke is kind of a good get-right spot for them here. Next game is going to be the Royals and the Twins. Pablo Lopez going up against Noah Cameron. Noah Cameron's a lefty for the Royals. He's pitched really well. We got a small sample size of 12.2 innings, but he's got an ERA of 0.71. He's not K-ing a lot of guys, though. He's only averaging a half a K per inning, going up against Pablo Lopez, who is 4-2 on the year, sub-2 opponent average, and a 2.40 ERA. We've got a lot of ABs against this lineup here, and they have not had much success. Salvador Perez is 2 for 17. Bobby Witt Jr. is 4 for 17. Miguel Garcia's 3 for 12. Kyle Isbell's 5 for 13. That's one of the best on the team. Michael Massey's only 2 for 13. Drew Waters 1 for 3. A lot of Ks in this lineup. I mean, a lot. They have struck out a ton against Pablo Lopez. So really hard for me to get behind them today at +136. That said, I can't get behind the Twins at -162. That's crazy. We've got an over-under of 7.5. It's going to be 64 degrees with a 5-mile-an-hour wind blowing in. I would lean towards taking the under 7.5 in this one. We've seen the Royals struggle offensively on the road. Don't love the pitch splits for Noah Cameron, but I think he's pretty serviceable today. So under 7.5 or nothing for me in this spot. Pablo Lopez's numbers have just been pretty damn good this season. Now, he has been weaker on the road. He's given up almost a 4 ERA on the road, but given the history here and a lack of inability to really get to him, I just don't think I can get behind this Royals lineup here. I think they're going to struggle a little bit. I could see this being like a 3-2 kind of game. That's how I have it slated out. So I will take the under 7.5 as my best bet in that one. Mariners and the Astros. We've got Emerson Hancock going against Ryan Gusto. We saw the Astros throw up a little 9 spot last night. George Kirby looked pretty good until he didn't. He had 2 outs and then just absolutely blew up and gave up a ton of runs. Hancock has been pitching really well. It has got to come to an end. So I don't like Ryan Gusto. Don't trust this guy whatsoever. So 2 pitchers I don't trust and 2 offenses that are okay. I mean, the Mariners haven't been hitting. They're hitting sub 200. They're dead last in baseball against righties over the last 2 weeks. So you are getting good value to take the Astros. So it's Astros money line or the over for me in this spot. All right, next game. Weird line here. D-backs and the Cardinals. Zach Gallen going up against Miles Mikolas. So you've got the D-backs ace going up against Miles Mikolas, who is not good. And the Cardinals are plus 110. It's a weird line. D-backs are minus 130. In terms of the weather here, it's going to be 70 degrees with a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing from right to left. Zach Gallen on the road this season, 3.38 ERA in 3 starts. He's been better on the road than at home. Mikolas, 4.70 ERA in 3 home starts. Really struggling against lefties, giving up a 2.55 average. Gallen struggling against righties, giving up a 2.78 average. We got an over-under of 8.5. I want to lean towards the over. I don't necessarily. This line tells me that there's going to be some runs scored, or else I think we would see the D-backs a little higher favorited here, at least like minus 140. Don't love the fastball for Gallen today. Cardinals are hitting that better than any team in the MLB over the last 30 days, but everything else they've kind of struggled. Same with Mikolas. D-backs are hitting the fastball well. With runners in scoring position, they're pretty similar in what they're doing, 220 to 250 in terms of the average. Mikolas is not going to K a lot of guys. I think that's my issue here. If you're not going to strike out these D-backs, they're going to hurt you. So I understand the line. There is some decent amount of public money going into the Cardinals here. Cardinals at home this season, 16-8. D-backs on the road are 13-11. Away as favorites this year, the D-backs are 8-4. Cardinals as dogs at home are 10-4 on the year. So there is some value taking the Cardinals, but can I trust Miles Mikolas? No, absolutely not. That's why I lean more towards just taking the over here. I do have the Cardinals winning this. I've got this as a 5-4 game in terms of the Cardinals. So that's why I just lean towards taking the over 8.5 in this one. All right, next game is going to be the Yankees and the Rockies. Clark Schmidt going up against TBD. I do believe it is Tanner Gordon here. Just rinse and repeat what we did in the Phillies series. I just took the run line every single game. Yesterday I did a run line, plus I had Ranger Suarez to get 5K. So something like that. I would just do a modified line. So that's probably one that makes the card. The only issue is this D-backs team is just sneaky at home sometimes. So can't pay minus 325 for this team, and they're going to win a game eventually at home. They've won 8 games. This is the worst start ever in the last 50 years for a major league team. They're 8-42. So the odds of them winning just aren't good. And they're 5-20 at home. Clark Schmidt on the road is significantly worse than he is at home. So that is something that we'll want to factor in as well. But need to see who the starting pitcher is in this one. So probably won't be on the official plays just until we know for sure who's pitching. But Clark Schmidt in 2 away games has a 7.20 ERA. So definitely a little bit concerning. We got an over-under of 12. There is going to be a 9-mile-an-hour wind blowing in, but wind has a little effect here. It's going to be 81 degrees, so ball carry is going to be pretty high. Yeah, it's probably going to be a run line play, but we'll see. Next game is going to be the Miami Marlins and the Angels. It is going to be Sandy Alcantara going up against Yusei Kikuchi. Kikuchi had a fantastic last outing. He absolutely was on point in that one. Alcantara at home, I just can't get behind this dude. He's got almost a 15 ERA in 3 home games. Kikuchi on the road's been great. He's got a sub-2 ERA. It's 1.65. He has been getting banged up a little bit, though. He's susceptible to giving up hits. 310 to lefties, 278 to righties. Alcantara, 367 average to righties. And this Angels team has won 7 games in a row. So is it crazy that they're the home team minus 148? I'm sorry, Kikuchi at home's been really good. Kikuchi on the road has been a little worse. Alcantara on the road has been terrible. So mix those up. But Angels at home at minus 148. We're getting pretty good value here. Over under of 8. It's going to be 71 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out, and we get an over-under of 8. That is a really weird line. Both bullpens are bad. I mean, this Angels bullpen, I don't know how they've won 7 straight when they have the worst bullpen in MLB, but give me the over 8 in this one. I do think that the Marlins should be able to hit Kikuchi, even though he's been pitching really well, and the Angels should be able to just bash Alcantara, and there's nothing behind him. All right. Last game on the card here is going to be the Phillies and the A's. Zach Wheeler going up against Jeffrey Springs, I do believe. It's listed as TBD right now. If it is, I love the Phillies here on the run line. They have been pummeling lefties, hitting 351 over the past week, hitting 356 over the past 2 weeks. The A's have been struggling offensively. They are really struggling with runners in scoring position. They're almost dead last over the last week, 25th over the last 2 weeks, 24th over the past month. Springs has had some good games, struggles against lefties, giving up almost a 280 average. Wheeler has been Wheeler. He has been dealing. That said, Wheeler is a little more susceptible on the road, giving up a 3.38 ERA as opposed to a significantly better ERA at home. Jeffrey Springs giving up a 6.30 ERA and 4 home games. So can't really get behind him this year. He has kind of spurts of greatness, and then he sucks. So I think Wheeler absolutely deals. It's going to be 78 degrees with a 7-mile-an-hour wind blowing in, which I like that the wind's blowing in, actually, just because I don't want it to turn into a home run fest like we saw in that Rays game, where Houston just got pummeled because of home runs, because of the weather. So they are playing in a small little park here. But I do love the Phillies here. This is one I will take them in some form or fashion, -1, or take them on the run line. They've won 7 straight games. The A's have lost 9 straight. So I can't really get behind this A's team. At home, they're 8-17. Phillies are 15-10 on the road. So Philly spot. But like I said, make sure you guys check the pinned comments. I will post my official plays. And let's have a good Friday here. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next video.